As we close out 2024 and reflect on the year that has passed, there's one thing that stands out for many of us: overthinking. It's easy to dismiss it as just a habit or something that everyone does. But have you ever stopped to consider how much overthinking has actually held you back from fully living in the present moment? Eckhart Tolle speaks about the power of living in the now and how our minds, often caught in patterns of overthinking, pull us away from that essential experience. In this video, we're going to explore how overthinking may have affected your progress in 2024, how it kept you from reaching your goals, and how you can break free from its grip as we step into 2025 with a fresh perspective. As we reflect on 2024, it's essential to acknowledge that overthinking is not just a minor inconvenience. It's something that infiltrates our lives, distorts our reality, and stops us from fully embracing the present moment. In fact, overthinking has the power to stop us from making decisions, taking action, and ultimately moving forward with our goals and dreams. Let's dive deeper into how overthinking may have held you back in 2024 and how we can use Eckhart Tolle's teachings to move forward into 2025 with more clarity and presence. Part 1. The nature of overthinking and its impact on your life. Part 2. Overthinking isn't just about having too many thoughts or being indecisive. According to Eckhart Tolle, overthinking is a manifestation of the ego, a mental pattern that keeps us trapped in a cycle of worry, fear, and judgment. This constant mental chatter prevents us from living fully in the present and keeps us focused on the past or future rather than embracing the now. A novel title. You may have noticed that overthinking tends to emerge in various situations throughout your life. When you're faced with an important decision, when you're worried about something that could happen in the future, or when you're reflecting on past mistakes. Overthinking takes us out of the moment and into our heads, where we get stuck in endless loops of what-ifs and should-haves. It's like a fog that clouds our clarity and prevents us from seeing things as they truly are. In 2024, how many times did overthinking prevent you from taking action? Maybe you spent hours, days, or even weeks ruminating over a decision, when the reality is, the longer you thought, the further you got from making a choice. Overthinking creates a false sense of control. We believe that if we just think through every possible outcome, we'll make the right decision. But in truth, overthinking only increases our anxiety and doubt. It makes us feel like we're doing something to solve a problem, when in fact, we're only prolonging the inevitable, making us less likely to act. Let's take an example. Perhaps in 2024, you had goals or dreams you wanted to pursue. Maybe you wanted to start a new job, travel somewhere, or take up a new hobby. However, the simple act of making a decision was clouded by overthinking. You worried about the risks, the potential failures, or what others might think. As a result, you remained stuck in a mental loop, unable to take the first step toward your goals. Instead of experiencing life fully, you spent your time in thought, missing out on the opportunities that were right in front of you. Overthinking often stems from fear of failure, fear of judgment, or fear of the unknown. This is where Eckhart Tolle's teachings become particularly valuable. According to Tolle, the ego's need for control and certainty fuels our overthinking. The ego, which thrives on separation and fear, wants us to stay in our heads, thinking and analyzing, rather than experiencing life as it unfolds. It creates a narrative where we are constantly planning, worrying, and doubting, all in an attempt to protect ourselves from the discomfort of uncertainty. Uncertainty is a natural feeling, but the truth is, overthinking is a trap. It keeps us in a state of paralysis, where we feel like we're doing something, but we're actually not moving forward at all. Tolle explains that the more we identify with our thoughts, the more we become trapped in the egoic mind. The ego wants us to believe that our thoughts are who we are, and in doing so, it separates us from the present moment. As a result, we miss out on the beauty and richness of life as it is, constantly looking for something more or different instead. End quote. The cost of overthinking in 2024. Now let's take a moment to reflect on the specific cost of overthinking in 2024. When we overthink, we often get caught up in hypothetical scenarios that may never happen. We imagine all the worst-case outcomes, and in doing so, we paralyze ourselves from taking action. This mental energy spent on what-ifs and should-haves creates a sense of dissatisfaction with the present moment and a fear of the future. Yet it isn't a limited phenomenon because it's just as common as being reduced to sitting at your desk. Overthinking can also affect our relationships. In 2024, you might have found yourself overanalyzing conversations with others, dwelling on things said or unsaid. The mind can create stories and interpretations that aren't grounded in reality, leading to misunderstandings and unnecessary stress. Instead of being present with the people in our lives, we are lost in our thoughts, missing out on the connections that could have been made in the moment. The cost of overthinking goes beyond just missed opportunities. It also drains our energy. When we are constantly consumed by our thoughts, we become mentally and emotionally exhausted. We lose the ability to be fully present, and instead of enjoying life, we are burdened by the weight of our own thinking. This exhaustion affects our physical health as well. Stress, anxiety, and worry caused by overthinking can manifest in physical symptoms such as headaches, tightness in the body, and sleeplessness. Reflecting on 2024, consider how much time and energy was spent on overthinking. How much of your year was consumed by analyzing, worrying, and planning instead of living fully in the now? What opportunities were missed because you were too wrapped up in your thoughts to take action? It's important to be honest with yourself about the impact of overthinking so that you can begin to make a conscious decision to break free from this cycle as we move into 2025. Eckhart Tolle's insights on breaking free from overthinking. So, how can we break free from overthinking in 2025? The first step, according to Eckhart Tolle, is to become aware of the egoic mind and its tendency to overanalyze. The key is to stop identifying with your thoughts and start observing them. Tolle encourages us to practice awareness, to be aware of the present moment and recognize when the mind begins to wander into overthinking, which will lead to its own life of suffering and resentment. Instead of getting caught up in the thoughts, Tolle suggests we practice mindfulness. By focusing on our breath, our body, or the simple sensations of the present moment, we can detach ourselves from the constant chatter of the mind. The more we practice being present, the more we create space between ourselves and our thoughts. This space allows us to experience life as it truly is, rather than through the filter of overthinking. Another powerful tool that Tolle recommends is the practice of surrender. Surrendering to the present moment means letting go of the need to control or predict what will happen next. It's about accepting what is, without judgment or resistance. This doesn't mean that we stop making decisions or taking action, but rather that we do so from a place of clarity instead of fear or overthinking. Conclusion of Part 1. As we move into 2025, it's important to reflect on how overthinking may have held you back in 2024. By understanding the nature of overthinking and how it ties into the ego, we can begin to break free from its grip. When we learn to observe our thoughts, surrender to the present moment, and trust the flow of life, we can start to live more fully in the now. In the next part of this video, we'll dive deeper into practical tools and techniques that you can use to stop overthinking and start living more consciously in 2025. Stay tuned for Part 2, where we'll explore how to integrate Eckhart Tolle's teachings into your daily life and take actionable steps toward a more present, empowered you in the year ahead. In the first part of our exploration, we reflected on how overthinking has held us back in 2024. We delved into how it prevented us from living fully in the present moment, from making decisions, and from taking the actions that could have transformed our lives. Now that we've gained insight into the impact overthinking had, it's time to shift gears. How can we break free from this mental trap and step into 2025 with clarity, presence, and action? In this part, we will discover practical tools and powerful techniques that will help you stop overthinking and start living more consciously. With Eckhart Tolle's wisdom as a guide, let's explore how we can shift our mindset, embrace the present moment, and allow 2025 to be the year we live more fully, without the heavy burden of overthinking. Eckhart Tolle's saying speaks to pausing for a brief moment, without the heavy burden of overthinking. To stop overthinking, we must first embrace the present moment. Overthinking often arises when we are either dwelling on past experiences or worrying about future outcomes. Eckhart Tolle teaches us that the present moment is all we truly have. By focusing on the now, we shift our awareness away from the constant chatter of the mind and into the stillness of being. In 2025, the key to breaking the cycle of overthinking is simple. We must train ourselves to be present. A helpful practice is mindfulness, which involves paying attention to your breath, the sensations in your body, and the world around you without judgment. When you find yourself spiraling into overthinking, gently guide your attention back to the present moment. Notice the details around you. Whether it's the sound of birds outside, the feeling of your feet on the ground, or the sensation of your breath entering and leaving your body. Remind yourself that you are much more than your physical body. Do not go insane around it. Do not lose touch with your body's inner humility, inner peace, inner joy. By practicing this kind of mindfulness throughout the day, we create a space where overthinking cannot thrive. When our focus is on the present, we become fully engaged with life as it unfolds, instead of getting lost in mental stories that hold us back. Eckhart Tolle often talks about the importance of disidentifying from the mind, meaning that we are not our thoughts. Overthinking feeds on the belief that we are our thoughts, that the constant stream of mental chatter is who we are. But the truth is, we are not our minds. We are the awareness that observes the mind. At the very same time, we are wide awake in our reality, and awareness is the key to living. In 2025, challenge yourself to disidentify from your thoughts. When you catch yourself overthinking, observe the thoughts without becoming attached to them. Instead of saying, "I am worried about this," say, "I am noticing that I am having thoughts about this." This subtle shift in language helps to create distance between you and your mind, making it easier to detach from the overthinking pattern. By recognizing that you are the observer of your thoughts, you can step back and watch them without judgment. This practice will not only help you break free from overthinking, but will also foster a sense of inner peace and clarity. The body is an incredibly powerful tool for grounding us in the present moment. Overthinking often occurs when our minds are disconnected from our physical selves. In 2025, one of the most effective ways to stop overthinking is to bring your awareness into your body. Start by paying attention to how your body feels in any given moment. Are your shoulders tense? Is your jaw clenched? Take a few deep breaths and consciously relax these areas. Feel the weight of your body on the chair or the floor, and notice how your body moves with each breath. By bringing your attention to your body, you create an anchor to the present moment, pulling yourself away from the endless spiral of thoughts. You can also practice body-based mindfulness techniques, such as yoga, tai chi, or simply taking a walk in nature. These practices help you reconnect with your body and the present moment, offering relief from the grip of overthinking. A significant source of overthinking is our deep-rooted need to control the future. We believe that by thinking through every possible outcome, we can ensure success and avoid failure. However, this constant need for control only leads to anxiety and stress. End of seminal theory. Eckhart Tolle teaches us that surrendering to the flow of life is an essential part of finding peace. In 2025, practice letting go of the need to control every detail of your life. Trust that life will unfold as it needs to, and that you don't have to have all the answers right now. When you let go of the need to control, you free yourself from the heavy burden of overthinking. This doesn't mean you stop planning or taking action. It simply means that you stop obsessing over the what-ifs and trust that things will unfold in their own time. Trusting the process of life allows you to be more present and less caught up in mental projections about the future. Gratitude and acceptance are powerful antidotes to overthinking. When we are grateful for the present moment and what we have, we stop looking for things to be different. Overthinking often arises from a sense of dissatisfaction with our current situation. But gratitude shifts our focus to what is already good in our lives and increases our consumption of pleasures and better controls of our emotions. In 2025, make it a daily habit to practice gratitude. Take a moment each day to reflect on what you are thankful for, whether it's your health, your relationships, or simply the beauty of the world around you. When you cultivate a mindset of gratitude, overthinking has less room to take root. Acceptance is another key practice. Life doesn't always go according to plan, and that's okay. By accepting things as they are, without judgment or resistance, we free ourselves from the mental struggle that overthinking creates. When we let go of the need to control or fix everything, we allow ourselves to fully experience life as it is right now. As we move into 2025, let these practices guide you toward a more peaceful, present, and conscious life. Overthinking may have held you back in 2024, but now is the time to break free. By embracing the present moment, disidentifying from the mind, focusing on the body, letting go of control, and practicing gratitude and acceptance, you can create a life free from the paralysis of overthinking. Remember, you are not your thoughts. You are the awareness behind them. And as you step into 2025, let that awareness guide you toward a more present, more fulfilling life. One that is lived fully in the now. Overthinking often holds us back from achieving our goals and finding peace, and it is something many of us struggled with in 2024. However, with the practices outlined above, we can begin to break free from this cycle in 2025. By embracing the present moment, detaching from the mind, focusing on the body, letting go of control, and practicing gratitude, we can free ourselves from the grip of overthinking and live a more conscious, fulfilling life. IBQ. If you want to continue on your journey of self-discovery in 2025, make sure to subscribe to this channel to assure living more in the present moment. Reply with the word "now" in the comments when this message made sense to you, and if you want to continue growing in the future. Also, consider giving this video a like or sharing it with someone who might benefit from a gentle reminder to slow down in life and be more awake.